Welcome, Riley.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Super happy to have you. I know that you've got some fans in Tower, so that's actually who recommended you for the show.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, Keith
Yeah,
from Tower. Um,
amazing.
yeah. So,
That's sweet.
please,
Mutual fans
oh,
also.
yay. And
Yeah.
you guys are both in Brooklyn too, right?
Yeah, and Tower's playing our album release show with us.
I saw
Um,
that. I put it on my calendar, so I'll see you there.
Sweet.
Yes.
And we played their album release show um a year or two back at Market Hotel. So now it's a little like, you know,
Yeah,
switcheroo. It's sweet.
perfect.
Community.
Yes. Um, Yeah, okay, so please tell people who you are and what your band is called for the people who are
Sure.
in that show.
Yeah, I'm Riley Pinkerton, aka the Rat Queen of Castle Rat, which is our like our band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like well, the new single in particular, Fresh Fur, it's
Mhm.
doomy like your other music, and it also has a really cool like underwater effect on the vocals, I think.
Yeah.
Describe it. Just came out March 13th, and your somebody from your label who was also excited that you'll be here today. Wanted to congratulate you for over 100,000 views on YouTube on your new single in a week.
Yeah. In like a week. It's been crazy that last two music videos just like hit the algorithm just right and went kind of viral. The
Yeah,
other one's at like 250,000 views, and that came out like a month ago. And then this one, yeah, hit 100,000 in about a week, which has
amazing.
been a wild ride because both those videos were very like DIY, sort of spur of the moment. Um, like the first one we shot on VHS and was kind of like one take on everything because there was only so much footage and it was upstate in this insane snowstorm that we didn't know was going to happen, and like it all worked out. And
Yeah,
then the second one was very DIY, like in my friend Olivia's apartment using like a bed sheet as a green screen, and with our manager like blasting me with a hair dryer so that my hair would go in the wind, and
wow. You
made it
know,
all happen for like $30.
I love it. It came out really cool. I love the
Yeah.
like editing effects, like the sort of like aura thing that follows you around as you move. It's super cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
Your, your look in the video is kind of, in my opinion, like Kate Bush meets the Great Cat.
Cool.
Yeah, which is kind of perfect. Castle Rat, Kate Bush, Great Cat.
Yeah.
Uh, and you're also an actress? Or sorry, you have an actress in your band, Madeline Wright.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a dancer and choreographer, extraordinarily talented. And she plays the Rat Reapress. So she's like our stage actress. I'm not an actor. I I don't have that.
Oh, I
But
heard.
she's done some acting that's like, in correlation with her um dancing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I saw her that she did some like fun sounding movies like Voodoo Macbeth and My Demon Girlfriend within the last 10 years. But yeah, once again, your label, I mean, because they reached out to me to like celebrate that you're here, and they said that your performance is transcendent because of like all the costuming, and you have the actress, and it's like some really cool combination of things. But yeah, so let's get into your questions. When did you first
Yeah.
realize that you loved rock and metal music and you wanted to create more of it?
Um, it's a tricky one. I feel like I was a bit of a late bloomer. Um, like I didn't get into Sabbath until I was like 18, and it was like I had like a shitty boyfriend at the time
Hmm.
who was like you like weird, bad music. I bet you'd like Black Sabbath. I don't like them, but check them out." And I checked them out and I was like, "Fucking love this. This is the greatest thing ever. It changed my life." Um,
Thanks,
and
weird boyfriend.
yeah, he sucked, but that was a good thing that came out of that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he was really into like Mumford and Sons. That's what was good music for
Yeah.
him.
Well, nothing weird about that.
Nothing weird about that.
Hmm.
So anyway, I got Black Sabbath out of that. But at the time I was playing like folk music and like singer-songwriter, and I did that for years. But listening to Sabbath the whole time, but I couldn't really like envision myself doing anything other than that. Um, and then moved to New York City, was still doing uh folk and singer-songwriter stuff. And then my friend Jackie Green, her band is Reverend Mother. She would also be a good one to interview.
I will reach out.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I saw her play a show and she was wielding an SG and just like up there slinging riffs. And uh, I also had an SG, but I just like wasn't sure how to work it into what I was doing. And seeing her do her thing really inspired me. I was like, oh, that's how you do it. You just do it. It's
Hmm.
that easy. Um,
Amazing.
so that like put me on the trajectory of playing heavier music until it evolved into Castle Rat.
Till it devolved.
Mhm.
Amazing. Yeah, your band is also compared to Orchid, Jeff Fox, Lucifer, and of course Black Sabbath. Um, I did notice something different that you do. You work with a French streaming service, Deezer. Is that something more that your label handles for you, or do you have any direct?
Um, I use DistroKid for
Okay.
distribution, and I think they just like cover everything. It
Okay.
wasn't a conscientious, but
Okay. Yeah, I just
that's for
noticed.
you, French people. Enjoy.
Well, it's actually a less expensive monthly service than Spotify. So I thought it was interesting and I wanted to learn for all of the rock goddesses how it was serving you, if it was paying you better than Spotify. But you know what? I'm just going to ask your label
Sure.
because I think they know. So
Yeah.
if your music were a movie soundtrack, what would the movie be about?
Oh, well, at some point there will be Castle Rat, the movie, and it will
Yay.
be, I think, all of the lore. So yeah, that one's easy. It would just be the lore of Castle Rat
Okay.
and all the backstory.
Yeah, your videos do like separate instrumental segments into acts anyway, very thespian.
Hmm.
Mhm. Sounds exciting. I want to see the Castle Rat movie.
Me
Um,
too.
okay, well who would be the antagonist? If you could cast any actor or actress in the role of antagonist in the movie, who would you want it to be?
Well, it would be the Rat Reaperess, which would be
Okay.
Maddie. It's all done. It's all
Oh,
written,
oh, okay.
basically.
This is
Um,
happening.
I mean, in my mind,
Oh, okay.
which
Um,
is where it all starts anyway.
yeah,
Usually if I think of something, it happens, is what I've found. So we're willing it into the universe.
love it. Um, if you could play a world tour, or actually, if you could collect any three vinyl records of all time, which ones would you like to have?
This is a good question that I read in advance and struggled with because I don't have a record player and I don't have a vinyl collection. I'm not a vinyl nerd. So it's tough for me to be like, oh, these three coveted records, that would be so difficult to get or something like that and have it be an interesting answer. But I'll have vinyl again someday. I used to. But then I moved a lot and I was like, this stuff's so heavy.
Hmm.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just listen to stuff on my phone, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Probably like Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath and um probably Wicked Lady album would be good. And probably a Beatles record.
Beatles record. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could play a world tour with any three bands alive today, who would you choose and which city would you want to play most of all?
Mm. I think it would be super rad to tour with like King Diamond or Merciful Fate since they're already like building sets and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be fun to have two different sets, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that we open up with a castle and then it goes to his like insane asylum, whatever thing that
Yeah.
he's doing. I've seen him a couple times. Merciful Fate once and King Diamond once, and both shows were incredible. Um,
Awesome.
so that would be epic. And then I haven't seen Amon Amarth, but that feels like another good like a good pairing where I feel like that would be like a strong crowd that most people would probably be into both bands. And then third one, I wrote it down and now I forgot. And I wrote it in my phone, which is what I'm on.
Oh,
But
okay. Maybe it'll just pop up in your head later. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm super glad to hear that you like Merciful Fate and King Diamond because we share a drummer with them.
Oh,
Um,
sick.
yeah.
That's amazing.
What?
That's amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Snowy Shaw lives in Gothenburg. Um,
Sweet.
looking back, what was a big decision you made that turned out to be a great choice?
Mm. Um, Probably the biggest decision was deciding to go with being like a costumed heavy metal band, which is not what Castle Rat was meant to be in the beginning. It was like just a band name. And then we played like two shows not in costume, and then we played a Halloween show with a band called Mother Feather that they're also based out of New York. And we very last minute decided to dress up, and I was just like, all right, obviously I'm the rat queen of Castle Rat. And then I was like, bassist plague doctor, because rats bring the plague, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And our guitarist at the time had sort of like a vampiric vibe, so I'm like, that's easy. You're a vampire. We're gonna stick some fangs in your mouth and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then our drummer at the time was not the character that we have now, which is the druid. But we played that Halloween show, and I made the Rat Reaperess mask out of paper mache, and it was just like such a loose sketch of what Castle Rat has become.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we all just had so much fun, and we were so into it, and the crowd was so into it, and like afterwards we were in the green room, we all looked around and we were like, should we do this every time? Is that insane? And everyone was like, this was so fun, we should do it every time.
That is,
And yeah, so that was like a big decision because I'm not like a theater kid or like I never imagined this trajectory for myself, but now I can't imagine it any other way. I
well,
think
I think
it's
it's,
like
yeah.
served itself well.
Yeah, it's I think goes great with the lyrical themes, lots of fantasy, and that story is actually similar to why Pat Benatar, who's also from Brooklyn, decided
Hmm.
to wear cat suits for all of her performances. She was doing a Halloween show. She was wearing a cat suit, and she like realized during the show how the audience responded to it, and she decided to keep it ever since.
Yeah, hell yeah. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Fun facts. So what is a performance memory you will never forget?
Mm. Um, Probably one of our worst shows ever is
Oh,
one that will
it's
stick with me
totally different.
forever.
Totally different answer than usual.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way it goes that because it was so ridiculously bad that it's just like it comes up pretty regularly. It was a show in New Jersey and it was like a biker show thing. I'm not gonna say what it was, but there were I thought it was gonna be like the friends from our scene that have bikes and wear leather jackets and it's fun and it's nice. And instead there were some like biker groups that showed up with like swastikas and stuff on their jackets. and half my band uh at the time was Jewish. So everyone was looking at each other like, where the hell are we?
Right.
What have we gotten ourselves into? And it was like in this weird bar, and
Oh
they
my
left all the overhead lighting on that was like fluorescent, like cafeteria lighting.
oh my
So like
God.
no stage lights.
This is
And
getting
it's moments
scary.
like those where you realize that you're like in a goofy costume and like in New Jersey and questioning all of your life's choices. And the sound guy was a real jerk and, you know, was an extra jerk because I was a girl
Hmm.
and was like feeding back the monitors so bad that our bassist like kicked one off the stage because it was literally like splitting our ears. It was so bad. And it was our current drummer's first show ever. And I was like, cool, he's not going to play in our band because this was such a train wreck of a show. And I went up to him after. I was like, listen, I really appreciate all your hard work. I would totally understand if you never want to play with us again because this was such a
Oh
nightmare.
my
And he
God.
was like, nah, I'm down for the cause. Let's do this. He's like, I know why that was weird. And it wasn't because of us. And I'm like, cool. So it was such a funny way to like onboard Josh. But it worked out, and he's been a loyal member of Castlerat ever since, and it's only been up from there. It's good to have shows like that to kind of
Yeah.
keep you humble.
Wait, shows like that you get out of alive, but this
Yeah.
sounds like a great like segment for your movie. Like this is like the horror sequence, and then like the final boss rat comes out of the biker gang or something. I don't know.
Definitely. Where we fight and defeat a Nazi
It's
rat.
like it's just like such a that story was pretty scary. I was like, oh God, what happens? Are they gonna get like kidnapped? Like what happens to their van? So like
Yeah.
there was a lot of like anticipation in that. So anyway, good stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Um what is your favorite piece of gear or stageware that you own?
Hmm. Well, I always wear the exact same costume, so I guess I like it. Um, I made it from scratch. I like made all the chainmail by hand and
Wow.
sewed the costume from scratch over the pandemic. I'm not like a sewer or like a fashion person, but it was something that I like sketched up and I was like, cool, how do I make this happen? And yeah, I've gotten a ton of wear out of it and it's, it is the image of the Rat Queen.
Mhm.
Um so although eventually there will be 2.0, everyone's gonna get like a makeover. I think for like second album would be the move.
Ooh.
And then gear wise would be my guitar. I'm not a huge gear head. I've got my amp and my guitar
Mhm.
and like one pedal.
Yeah.
So it's the way to do it, in my opinion. For me,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
for everyone.
That question gets really fun answers from the girls that come on the show because there will be like a lot of singers and they're like, well, I don't know, but surprising gear comes up. Like somebody tipped us off to like these little caps that you can put over microphones when you need to use a house mic. They'll
Mm,
link in somebody's thing. So that counts as gear. All of that counts. This is stuff we need to
definitely.
know, health stuff.
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
you have
actually,
hmm,
sorry, before we pass on the gear thing, I do have a vocal pedal by Death by Audio, which is amazing, and I would highly recommend it to people looking for like a good echo. I think it's called
oh,
Echo Master or something. It's
Echo
amazing.
Master? Rat Queen's Echo Master.
Yeah.
It does
I
sound
hope
like
that's what it's called. It's definitely Death by Audio though. They're
oh
great.
well,
They're amazing.
we'll find the right thing and I'll send you the link and I'll
Yeah.
put it in the thing. Also making all that chainmail is amazing. What a lot of patience that must have been.
That was very specifically a pandemic project where like at any other time in my life I would not have had the time or patience, but there was nothing else to do. So I was like, I'm gonna make chainmail. I
That's
will
what we
never do it again. I'm done. It's over.
Rare and
If
precious.
anyone wants to endorse me for chainmail, please.
I mean, it kind of makes sense why like medieval people had all this like time for chainmail. They were all living through plagues. So,
Yeah.
what are your new announcements?
Um, Basically, I mean, the album release show is like the biggest upcoming thing. We're also doing a record signing at Rough Trade. I think that's April 15th, and it's the full band in costume, and you can come and get your vinyl signed by the whole band, or CD. And yeah, the album release show with Tower and Killerkin, and then Uvalfo is doing a DJ set. Um, and then from there, we're looking at some tours that I don't think I can announce yet,
Okay.
but
Maybe some.
they're exciting. Yeah.
Where can we listen to your music and follow what you do?
Um, Spotify for sure. Also Bandcamp. We have a pretty big Bandcamp following and presence, which is super exciting. YouTube because the music videos are popping off,
Mhm.
and Instagram is the best way to like keep up with what we're doing because we post, new announcements all the time.
Yes. Okay. And I will link the Instagram, but do you want to just tell people what the handle is?
Sure, it's at castle.rat.
Super. Okay, last thing we're gonna do is play the vinyl game. So I'm gonna hold up two pieces
Mhm.
of vinyl and you're gonna pick one of two and tell us why you prefer it. Coven or Hoaxed?
Nice. I'm picking Coven because I love Coven and I love that album.
Yes, Jinx is the queen. What
Yes,
amazing vocal range. And she just uses all of them in it whenever she can. Whistle notes,
definitely.
burns, vibrato, just everything. So talented.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
like still so underrated. Um,
Yeah,
whoa, backwards. Hang on. So King Woman or LA Witch?
I don't know either of these bands.
So you would probably like LA Witch and maybe is a band that you would even want to play a show with because they are
Okay,
doomy three girls and
cool,
like magical themes to their music. And then
sweet.
King Woman is like also doomy but a bit like outside of metal. I'm not really even sure what to compare it to. It's very unique.
Okay.
Almost like I don't know, like digitized in some way.
Okay.
Cherry Vanilla or Blondie?
I love Blondie. I love Debbie Harry. She's an
Another Brooklyn
icon.
girl.
Yeah. Yeah, she's amazing. There's a big spot in my heart for Debbie.
Debbie Harry says that girls should never get married because that's what men do to control them.
Fair.
Yeah.
Good point, Debbie Harry.
And she also was a Playboy bunny for a
I
while.
know.
Just full on feminist. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Pat Benatar or Stevie Nicks?
That Benatar.
They're like in the same room.
I know they are. That's crazy.
It's your turn. You have to go find a room with this floor and do a photo shoot.
Done. Consider it done.
Oh wait, which one did you pick?
Pat Benatar. Yeah.
Brooklyn Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Pat Benatar song?
Um,
There's so many
I
good
don't,
ones. Hard to pick.
yeah.
Um,
She's amazing. I mean, I remember seeing like the first live video I ever saw of her where I feel like the recordings don't, I mean, not like they don't capture, but such a powerful vocalist that seeing a live performance, I was like, whoa, she is a powerhouse. I can't remember what song it was, but it was nuts.
I'm gonna look for her live stuff. She was inspired to start her music career after seeing Liza Minnelli perform live.
Hmm,
And
that checks out. Yeah.
yeah, and she was married and living in New Jersey at the time. she's married to her high school sweetheart who was like a military guy, and she just like divorced him and moved to New York and started her career.
Wow, you go, girl.
And she's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame only because her husband, who is in the Pat Benatar band, um, she doesn't want to be admitted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame without him. Romantic. Sucker. Okay, so Cher or Kate Bush?
Cher.
Cher. Why
Yeah.
Cher?
I don't like Kate Bush.
Oh, sorry. I had gone and like
That's
compared
okay.
you to her earlier.
No, she's got a cool aesthetic and everything. I'm just not sonically my favorite, but I love Cher. I love like early Cher, like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves era
Yeah.
Cher. My yeah,
I
she's awesome.
I do have that song somewhere on vinyl. Yeah. Cher doing a lot of different costumes.
Yeah, another fashion icon.
Yes. Still beautiful. All right. Well, that's it, Riley. Thank you so
Great.
much for coming on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and
Super
I'll
fun. So
see
nice
you
to
at your
meet
next
you.
show.
Hell yeah, I can't wait.
Bye.
Bye.